Here we are in front of the Customs House in downtown New London, Connecticut on a very cool April morning of 2013. And there's a plaque here. And before I read the plaque, though, I want to read the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. It says that the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Basically, if the federal Constitution or the U.S. Constitution did not clearly state in the document that states couldn't do certain things, for example, states can't make treaties to declare war, then they had the right to do it, and the people of those states also. Here is a very interesting little plaque here. It says, "Do you want to be slave or free?" On this site, September 30th, 1858, Police Court Judge Augustus H. Bandegee and Customs Collector John Perkins Mather freed a stowaway slave known as Joe by applying Connecticut's personal liberty law against the Federal Fugitive Slave Act. Judge Bandegee asked the stowaway, "Do you want to be slave or free?" The slave replied, "Free." Now, Connecticut didn't actually abolish slavery until 1848, although it had a very relatively small slave population. And when the Fugitive Slave Act was passed, many states that were free states nullified it. Wisconsin, as an example, and here's an example of the Connecticut saying, "Hey, we're not going to obey this federal law. It's unconstitutional." And this is the argument that we hear a lot today concerning the various gun bills that Obama has proposed, the Obamacare, and the opponents of the notion of nullification to say this has something to do with slavery when states nullified acts and so forth. Well, actually it works both ways. And here's an example of a state saying we don't like the federal law, it's unconstitutional, and we're not going to abide by it. We're going to pass our own law, and as a result it led to freedom. So I think the 10th Amendment is very much important today, and it's up to the states in many examples to say no to the tyranny of Congress and the White House. And this is an interesting spot too, because just take a short walk down here. This is where the site of the Amistad, the blacks who were captured on a ship called the Amistad. There's a great movie about that story. Well, they came to Connecticut because Connecticut at that time in 1839 was a slave state, although the ship originally landed in New York. They were going to land in New York, but New York had abolished slavery, so they brought them up here. And the story, of course, is quite a story. Joseph St. Q was the leader of the group, and after a couple of years, it went all over to the Supreme Court. John Quincy Adams, the former president, argued in their defense, and they were freed. So, very historical spot, and when this place is open, I really recommend a visit here.